Okay, turning 4 lights on.
Or not. I wanted to talk about I've been watching Dragon Ball Z since I don't know, back in the age of Toonami, so I guess I was a second wave. You know, all of us Dragon Ball Z fans, Saiyans get all the love. Saiyans get everything. You've got Super Saiyan. You've got all the different grades. Super Saiyan 2, grade 5. Super Saiyan 3. And, you know, Majin Vegeta, which I guess is just Super Saiyan 2 powered up. With the Majin ability. But it's considered its own thing in video games and whatnot. Then you've got Instinct, then you've got whatever this, I'm going to call it Royal Blue, the Vegeta's new transformation in Dragon Ball Super. And then you've got Mystic Gohan, or Ultimate Gohan, as it's better to, you know, it's more accurate, its name is Ultimate Gohan. And then, you know, GT, you've got Super Saiyan 4, and Golden Azaru, all these things. Oh, Azaru, how can I even forget the original Vegeta transformation Azaru? Well, here's the thing. Humans have got nothing, and there's so much to work with. There really is. I've come up with a way that Toyama could give humans some love, you know? Frieza's race got love. Namekians, absorbing other Namekians, transformation power boost. You know, humans need a way to have a power boost. And I think this is a way that, this is what I would like to see for Dragon Ball Super, which, by the way, I know is ending in March. But I'm going to hold out hope that it'll eventually come back around. I'm calling it Spirit Boost, is the fan. Gohan, Trunks, and Goten, and even Pan, you know, they get a boost for being part human, that helps, like, you know, like, raise their limits beyond what it could be if they were just 100% Saiyan. What my intent is, humans can have a spirit boost transformation, where, just like in real life, humans, if they're put in a crazy situation, if, you know, it's called hysteria strength, where, like, if the mother sees their daughter upside down vehicle, or, you know, or something like that, or, like, there's been cases of, like, hysteria strength. Like, it's not an outward transformation. At the moment, we are beyond our own capabilities, by far. You know, the human body limits itself in order to keep from cell damage. You know, to the point where your body's just like, you know, like, your body does have a limit, but very, like, strength. So I'm thinking humans could, and they could get a transformation where, like, you know, like, Gohan's Mystic or Ultimate transformation is about, you know, like, calmness. Saiyan's is about anger. Saiyan's is, you know, Super Saiyan is tapped into anger. God is about ki control. I believe that, don't mistake this for instinct, because that's not what it is. Think of it as like primal human, I think what would happen is the hair would turn white. Humans' hair would turn white. Their eyes would go completely black. Their pupils would go completely black. Their hair would turn white. And in instinct, Goku has zero control. In, like, in like this hysteria like mode that a human could have, it would be more along the lines of they can't think of anything but the task at hand. They're like this, like now, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. You know what I mean? Like, and they're willing, and they're not thinking about if they can do something or how possible something is to get done. But what they're thinking about is, I'm going to do this, and this is going to happen. There's no doubts in their minds. It's just 100% task at hand. It's all like, you know, like, is the only thing that's on their mind. And I think humans should get that transformation. Humans need love in the Dragon Ball universe. Hey Google, next. And they've needed love for a while in the Dragon Ball universe, you know? And I think that this could play up very well, because it would explain, like, Gohan could have been almost tapping into it when he saw Radix beating up his father. The only task at hand that he thought of was, save my father. Don't stop hurting my dad. Stop hurting my dad. Stop hurting my dad. And so no matter what it took, that's all he wanted to do. And so he like channeled that energy into stop hurting my dad. Or whenever he was on Namek fighting Frieza, and after he got the crap beat out of him, and all of a sudden after Piccolo went down, Gohan got super pissed off and was just like, I'm not gonna let you hurt. Stop hurting Piccolo, stop hurting Piccolo, stop hurting Piccolo. And all of a sudden it's just like, it would help. I think it would fall in line with the canon, because like with Gohan being half Saiyan, half human, he could have potentially tapped both. And that shows, you know, and I think it would make humans more relevant. It's clear to see during the Tournament of Power how irrelevant humans have become in the Dragon Ball universe. You know, with Krillin, but Yamcha not even showing up. But granted, he's not a fire. But with Krillin being tossed out and Tien soon to follow, it's sad, you know. I mean, we had Gohan, which is a half human, half Saiyan, but now it's only Saiyans and then human with, you know, cyberonic implants. Like, technically a cyborg, but whatever. And so I get why he's not put in some sort of human transformation, because there's too many people out there that have mental problems that think they can go Saiyan these days, you know what I mean? Think they can transform. And if he labels humans with the ability to transform, it's only going to get crazy. Like, you're going to see all these stories of like all these kids and adults trying to do this human transformation thing and then killing themselves from doing something stupid. That's inevitably would happen, but I just call that Darwinism. You know what I mean? So if that happens, c'est la vie. But give humans some love, Toriyama. Give them some love. You know, I get it. The series coming to end in March 28th, 10 days after my birthday. Great birthday. Well, I guess I get to see, you know, the ending of Super in my birthday month, so. And then we get the movie, the Saiyan origin movie, in December. Maybe if we're lucky, by next April, we'll get a continuation of Dragon Ball Super. But humans need love, man. Krillin deserves a transformation. Krillin has been a part of the main team. Krillin has done so many amazing feats with zero transformations. He's been able to go toe-to-toe with characters beyond his power level and live, taking punches from people like Cell. You know, granted he was killed by Frieza, but he stood his ground, fighting against the Cybermen and with Vegeta. He tried his best. He did. And you know what? Give Krillin some love. Hashtag give Krillin love. You know, he deserves it. And if anything, I don't think Krillin should get the transformation at first. I think Tien should. And here's how I see it playing out in my head, alright? I see Tien coming home after the tournament, right? And he goes back to his dojo. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Super. He's teaching people in his dojo. Everything great is going on. Goku and Vegeta are off in Universe 6. And Gohan is back to training with Piccolo and taking care of his family. Granted, Gohan does want to be a fighter. He's going to be a fighter, but on his own terms. Because he's also going to be a father. So, hey Google. Next. So, like, leave it. Hey Google. Next. He's not going to behind. So what I see is Tien going back home to his dojo, while Vegeta and Goku are off experiencing Universe 6 arc, hopefully next year after April. He's bapping. And so you see Tien, he's off there training his peoples and whatnot. And Chaozu is there, right? Well, so what ends up happening is there's like some sort of great evil. That comes back. You know, something that's like B+ tier rate enemy, where Goku and Vegeta could kill, but Krillin and, you know, the humans could not. And what happens is, you know, that they're like, there's this power level. What's going on? You know, like something weird's happening. And let's just say the bad guy has come to Earth from another universe. We could just say that. Simple, easy plot. The bad guy learned that Goku and Vegeta were off in Universe 6. And we'll say it's from one of the universes that's not in the tournament. And they want to come to Earth because they heard during the tournament of power, Goku or Universe 7 mention that they had Dragon Balls on their planet. And so, since they were unable to join the tournament to make a wish with Super Dragon Balls, they come to the Universe 7 dimension in order to get the Earth's Dragon Balls to make a wish that they want. So what ends up happening is Tien is out meditating one night on top of his dojo, sitting there in meditation. He feels this energy, this presence appear on the planet. And Chaozu is sitting there with him. And Chaozu is like, what's going on? Tien's like, stay here. Stay here. I'm gonna go and investigate. Tien goes flying off. Cuts to a scene of Krillin playing with Mara, and Android, you know, is cooking dinner. And so Tien's flying off, and it's in the middle of the night, and you see a silhouette of this creature from the moon. And Tien stands there and is like, what are you, like, can I help you with something? And then he's like, yes, I'm looking for your Dragon Balls that you have on this planet. Why do you want our Dragon Balls? That is of no concern to you. And so he's like, well, I'm not going to allow you to use our Dragon Balls for just any wish. As if you could stop me, human. I've seen you fight in a tournament. You are of no skill level to mine. And so then Tien does this whole, like, trying to fight him thing. It's like, oh yeah? And then the silhouette figure just goes, whoosh, and this Tien goes, phew, flying down. You see a whole bunch of dirt and stuff as the crater's formed. And you see the creature's feet, like, hit the ground. And is looking at Tien and is like, I tried to tell you not to mess with me. Now tell me how to find these Dragon Balls. And then you hear Chaozu come out screaming, going, Tien! And then Tien is like, opens up one of his eyes halfway and he's like, Chaozu, get out of here! Chaozu, get out of here! And so he goes, oh, Chaozu, huh? Like, you care for this thing. All of a sudden, bloop, bloop, bloop. He's holding Chaozu by the head. And then he's like, so tell me where these Dragon Balls at. He's like, why do you want your Dragon Balls? What do you need? And he's like, well, if you must know, I come from Universe 17. And he's like, and then he does the internal monologue. Universe 17? They were one of the ones that weren't participating in the tournament. What purpose do they need the Dragon Balls for? He goes, and so he asked him, he's like, well, why does Universe 17 need the Dragon Balls? And he goes, well, if you must know, I need them to wish for a set of my own for our universe. Boom! All of a sudden, you've got a whole new arc that just opened up. Right? And so, he's like, well, you know, why does your universe need Dragon Balls? He goes, well, they seem like very useful orbs, and we want some of our own. We're going to take your Earth Balls until we can figure out to make a pair of our own. And Tien's like, you can't do that! We need those, you know? And then, at this point, Krillin has noticed an energy and called Gohan. Or tried calling Gohan, but then it pans to a scene where it's got Piccolo and Gohan. This energy over their own energy, like they're out in the middle of a desert, training somewhere, and so Gohan tell the 17, but watch me. I've got to. And so, even though Krillin is, very like, he gets his strength up and he goes to find where it's coming from. And Tien, he's sitting up, holding his arm where the figure went like that, and he's just like, and he's panting, and he reaches down his belt, grabs out a sensu. His arm heals back. What a nice trick that is. How did you do that? I'm not telling you anything, says Tien. Let Chaozu go. Not till you give me the wish once. And he's holding Chaozu by the head, and he starts to squeeze the head, digging his fingernails into it. And he's like, don't worry about me, it's okay. And so then he takes out Chaozu and hits Chaozu on the back of the head with his other arm, and he knocks Chaozu out, and he goes, this is your last chance, human. Quit hurting Chaozu, Tien says. He goes, you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to kill him if you don't tell me where the Dragon Balls are, and then I will kill everyone on this planet. Quit hurting Chaozu. And all of a sudden, he starts powering up, and he goes, if you think it'll help, by all means. And then he grabs Chaozu's arm while Chaozu's knocked out. And he's like, stop it! And he goes, and this just, all of a sudden, his eyes like, and then they come back together as one giant black, like the blackness. He's got a white aura that's going around him. That is, it's not just like a white outline. It's kind of like the Super Saiyan aura, how it's yellow throughout the whole thing, except it's white throughout the whole. So that he grabs his face and squeezes it, and grabs the guy's arm, and he goes, death for Chaozu. And then he punches up the guy in the face, and the guy goes flying across like a pit, and then at Krillin's feet, and Krillin's like, what? Like, what's going on here? Flying at him with this white glowing aura, and his like black eyes that are like this big, and muscles that are, he's got issues that he can't move his neck. It's like And after that, he goes flying at the guy, and he punches him again. And he looks back at Chaozu and flies over to Chaozu, and he loses back. What happened? And then what just happened? And he flies over to Tien, and he's like, Tien, what happened? What just happened? Pulls out a Sensu beam, breaks it in half, and puts it in Chaozu. Follows the Sensu beam. And Chaozu as Tien on the neck, and from like, how did you tap into that? And he was freaking. For a second there, I could have sworn that almost they were when Goku was Super Saiyan 3. And then Tien was like, "What do you mean?" And all hits him. Well, it's kind of like the effects of Kaioken. All of a sudden, all of his muscles start to ache, and he's like falls over, and he's like, "Ah, God!" And then his muscles tense up, and then let go again, and he's like, and then so Krillin and Chaozu bring Tien back to the back to his place of residence, and he's laying there, and Chaozu's feeding him, and then he's flashing back on the battle, and he's like, how did I do that? How was I able to break his arm and hurt him like that? And Chaozu's like, I guess you got really lucky there, huh? It's like, and Tien's like, I don't know if it was luck. And he's like, oh, I'll think about it later. And then he goes to sleep. Krillin goes back home, and then the next day, see the angry, and he's like, that human. And now he's so PO'd about being like knocked out by a human. He flies to the nearest humans. One of your kind, I am going to kill all of you now. And all of a sudden he goes bloop and lets out this energy ball, and he just wipes out this whole city, entire city. And at this point, you see Tien, and he's at his dojo, limping around. He's back normal, and he feels the energy of the creature power up, and he goes, no, not again. And so him and he's like, Chaozu, stay here this time. Chaozu just goes, like, because he knows, And so Tien and Krillin, Tien flies off and meets Krillin and flying towards I called Gohan, he'll be meeting up with us soon. And then Gohan's like, I heard that you really, gave a beating to him, huh? And he goes, oh, Tien. Or, oh, human. He doesn't know Tien's name at this point. Well, he said, he goes, oh, Tien. And then he goes, you. After what he did to me last night, causing me so much embarrassment, I deserve a chance to prove that no human could beat me. So Tien steps forward and goes, and nods his head. Goes, of course, you can have that chance. And Gohan and Vegeta are feeling his energy and are like, no, Tien. No, Tien. This guy's out of your league. As they would a human because, you know, they just see, really, they treat humans as more frail. And then Tien is like, no, I beat him last night. I can beat him today. And then Piccolo is like, you know, I would like to see how he did that. And Gohan's like, well, Tien, if this is what you want to do, I'm not going to stop you. Thank you, Gohan. And Tien gets out in the middle, puts his hands together and starts meditating. His energy waves are flying up, slowly exiting his body as he's powering up. And then him and the guy start fighting. And the guy's like, what's this? You know, he keeps trying to hit the guy from the other universe, and the other guy is just like dodging it with his arms crossed. This isn't the guy I fought last night. You couldn't be. And then Tien's like, oh yeah? Powers up. And then he goes, yes, you're no one. And he goes and flicks Tien on the nose. And Tien goes flying back down into the ground. And then he bounces back up and he goes, Hurrah! And he flies back up in the air and he goes, you are not. I don't know how you managed to beat me last time, but you won't beat me again. You are so weak. And then so they clash in midair. And then you see Tien screaming in pain. And then he's holding Tien's arm and he goes, this will be payback for what you did to me. I will savor breaking your arm. Just like I did your friend. What was his name? Then once I break both of your arms, I will go find him, break all of his limbs, and watch him suffer. And then all of a sudden, Tien starts thinking about Chaozu. And then he gets super angry. Super unbelievably angry. And then he goes, and the bad guy is like pulling Tien's arm up, slowly reaching it to break his arm. And he goes, yes, that's right. Let out the yell of pain. Let it out. But little does he know, Tien isn't letting out the sound for pain. Black aura, and the white aura goes, and his muscles. And then Piccolo's like, interesting. And then Tien turns around, grabs him by the face, goes, wham! And throws him down on the ground from his face. And then stands down by his body, and then starts stomping his body into the ground. Grabs both of his arms, breaks both of the guys from the other universe's arms. Like, because when you're have hysteria strength, and you're on this mind focus, it's just stop it. Doesn't matter how brutal it is. This is breaks both of his guys' arms, and the guy's screaming there. Stop! Please stop! Stop! And he goes, you were never hurt. You know, again. And he flies up in the air, and he puts his hands together, and he goes, Tri-beam! And all of a sudden, Chaozu comes in and is like, stop! And then his Tri-beam is the color red. You see it charging up red. And then Chaozu stands in the way and is like, Tien, stop! This isn't you! And then Tien is like, Chaozu? And all of a sudden, his muscles go, and his eyes go back to normal. And then he lands on the ground. He's like, Chaozu. And then he's like, I don't know what came over me. Like, as soon as I thought of him hurting you, I just lost it. And then Piccolo and Gohan walk over to Tien. Is like, interesting transformation. How did you find that? Because that's really powerful. You know, you're on par with me, says Gohan. Like, at my max, I would have trouble fighting you. And then Tien looks down, not even realizing that he had even went into and out of a transformation. His body's thrashed again, and he falls over. It's a little less evident, like not as hurting as before. And then Krillin walks over and is like,
I didn't know humans could transform. Like, when did, how,
and he's like,
Tien,
and he bows to Tien, and he goes,
Tien, teach me how you did that.
like, I must learn in order to protect my family. If there's a way to become more stronger like they have, then I have a chance to protect the world again. And then Tien is taken back, laying on the ground, laughing at Krillin, and is like, Krillin, you've always been a hero. You've always protected the world. And then they look over to the guy from the opposing universe, and he's in the air, flying off, and he it zooms in on him, and he's whispering to himself, you know, like, Sendon will not be happy about this. And he flies off, and then you see him go bloop bloop out of the universe, and then Goku and Vegeta are returning from the Universe 6 arc, and then they're filled in on what just happened and everything that went on. And at this point, Tien has been trying to learn how to tap into this form himself on the normal. It's 3 months later. He's got the ability to transform into it whenever he wants, and then he's teaching Krillin how to do it. And Krillin growing his hair back out, when he does it, his hair turns white, and it doesn't stand up. It actually spikes down. It does go into spikes, but it spikes down like this and like this and like this. So it gives it, you know, like a different look. All the humans' hair when they transform goes into white, and it grows longer. Their hair grows longer, kind of like down to here, and it all spikes out like this. And so then, like, at this point, it flashes to the guy that had come from the other universe, and he's sitting there on one knee, and he goes, I'm sorry, I was unable to get the Earth's Dragon Balls from Universe 7. And you see a guy, and he goes, and why was that? And he's like, there was a human. He goes, you were stopped by a human? How? And then that could be the opener to a next arc. So that's how I think humans should get a transformation, what I think the transformation should be, where it would fit into the timeline, and the relevant strength, and how it would make sense into humans' like ability to tap into it. You know what I mean? Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I think it would make humans more relevant. It would also be a transformation with a limit, because when you're in it, you're brutal. You don't really have your full control. It's just or wanting so bad they can make it happen. So it would be really bad if you were in a multi-battle fight where, you know, you can't just focus on one individual person, because stopping, you know, like, I don't know, it has its drawbacks, because you become stupid when it comes to strategies. You're like a berserk human in rage, you know what I mean? So, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And I hope to see you again in the next one.